For more of this kind of content, you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. Marcus Chen gripped the controls of his cargo hauler as it spiraled toward the desert planet below. The attack had come from nowhere, sleek alien fighters emerging from the asteroid field like silver wasps. His ship's hull groaned under the stress as he fought to keep it airborne. Mayday, this is cargo vessel Aurora's Dream, end. P.S. He transmitted into the static-filled comm. Under attack by unknown hostiles, requesting immediate assistance. Only silence answered him. The desert rushed up to meet him, endless red sand dunes stretching to the horizon. Marcus had been transporting medical supplies to the outer colonies when the ambush struck. Now those same supplies might be the only thing keeping him alive in this wasteland. The impact threw him against his harness. Metal screamed, and sparks flew as the ship carved a furrow through the sand before finally coming to rest against a rocky outcrop. Marcus tasted blood and felt the warm trickle down his forehead. He stumbled from the wreckage, emergency pack in hand. The twin suns blazed overhead, and he knew he had maybe 6 hours before the desert cold would kill him. His attackers' ships had vanished, but they might return to confirm the kill. That's when he saw her. She emerged from what looked like solid rock, her movements fluid and purposeful. Humanoid but clearly not human. Her skin held a faint blue tint, and her eyes were too large, too knowing. She wore practical clothing, adapted for the harsh environment. "You're hurt," she said in accented but clear English. Her voice carried an odd harmonic quality. Marcus instinctively reached for his sidearm, but she made no threatening moves. Instead, she approached with something that looked like a medical scanner. "I'm Zara," she continued, "and you're bleeding internally. Without treatment, you'll be dead within hours." "Why should I trust you?" Marcus asked, though he could feel his strength ebbing. Zara tilted her head, considering. "Because I'm offering you shelter, and you have no other choice." She gestured toward the rock face she'd emerged from. "My sanctuary is climate-controlled, stocked with medical supplies, but there are rules." Marcus looked back at his burning ship, then at the endless desert. His medical scanner confirmed what she'd said. Internal bleeding, probable organ damage. He was dying. "What kind of rules?" he managed. "Safety rules. My rules. You follow them exactly, or you leave." Her expression hardened. This desert has claimed many travelers who thought they knew better than the person trying to save them. Marcus weighed his options. Trust an alien stranger or die alone in the sand. When put that way, the choice was obvious. "Lead the way," he said. Zara's expression softened slightly. "Good, but understand this. Once you enter my sanctuary, you become my responsibility, and I take my responsibilities very seriously." She turned toward the rock face, and Marcus followed, unaware that his real test was just beginning. The entrance appeared as Zara approached the cliff face. What had seemed like solid stone revealed itself as a sophisticated holographic projection. Beyond lay a tunnel carved with geometric precision, leading into the mountain's heart. "Impressive technology," Marcus commented, running his hand along the smooth walls. "Necessity," Zara replied simply. "This world doesn't forgive mistakes." The tunnel opened into a vast chamber that took Marcus's breath away. Gardens grew under artificial light, water recycled through elegant filtration systems, and living quarters were carved directly into the rock. It was a masterpiece of engineering and adaptation. "How long have you been here?" Marcus asked, as Zara guided him to a medical alcove. 12 years, she said, activating diagnostic equipment. I was part of a research expedition when our ship malfunctioned. By the time rescue arrived, I'd decided to stay. Marcus winced as she began treatment. The equipment was clearly advanced, sealing his internal injuries with precision human medicine couldn't match. Studying what? Zara paused in her work. The previous inhabitants. This world wasn't always a desert. She gestured to murals carved into the chamber walls. They depicted a lush world with cities that reached toward the sky, inhabited by beings that looked remarkably human. They called themselves the Ancients, Zara continued. They mastered terraforming, space travel, genetic manipulation. Then they vanished, leaving only ruins and questions. What happened to them? That's what I've been trying to determine. Zara finished his treatment and stepped back. Rest now. The healing process will take several hours. Marcus settled onto a comfortable sleeping pad, but his engineer's mind was racing. This sanctuary, you built it yourself? Adapted it, Zara corrected. The Ancients left behind infrastructure. I simply made it livable again. And you've been alone here for 12 years? Something flickered across Zara's features. Loneliness, perhaps, or regret. Mostly. Occasional traders stop by, but they never stay long. The desert, it changes people, makes them desperate. Marcus thought about his attackers. Is that why I was attacked? Pirates looking for easy prey? Zara's expression darkened. Pirates are the least of your concerns out here. There are others, scavengers, slavers, worse things. They know about supply runs to the outer colonies. Then why help me? Why risk exposure? Zara turned away, busying herself with equipment maintenance. Because I remember what it was like to be stranded and afraid. Because isolation is its own kind of death. Marcus sensed there was more to her story, but exhaustion was claiming him. As he drifted towards sleep, he heard Zara moving about the sanctuary, checking systems, maintaining their hidden refuge. He dreamed of the murals, of a civilization that had reached for the stars, only to fall into dust. When he woke hours later, feeling stronger and more alert, he found Zara staring at those same images with an expression of profound sadness. There's something you're not telling me, he said quietly. Zara turned to face him, and Marcus saw fear in her eyes for the first time. You're right, Zara said, her voice barely above a whisper. There is something I haven't told you. Marcus sat up, noting how Zara's hands trembled slightly as she activated a holographic display. Images materialized in the air between them. Star charts, genetic sequences, archaeological data. The Ancients didn't just vanish, Zara continued. They were eliminated, systematically, methodically, completely. The hologram shifted to show battle scenes reconstructed from archaeological evidence. Great ships filling the sky, cities burning, millions of beings fleeing in terror. By whom? Marcus asked, though he suspected he already knew. My people, the hegemony. Zara's voice carried shame and anger in equal measure. We called it the Purification Protocol. Any species that showed potential for technological advancement beyond our control was to be eliminated. Marcus felt cold, despite the sanctuary's warmth. And humans? Humans are next on the list. Zara met his eyes directly. Your species has progressed too rapidly, achieved too much in too little time. The hegemony fears you'll surpass us within a century. That's why I was attacked? Preliminary strikes. Testing human responses. disrupting supply lines to outer colonies. Full invasion begins in 6 months. Marcus stood and began pacing, his mind racing through implications. But you're helping me. Why? Zara touched the murals with reverence. Because I've spent 12 years studying what the ancients achieved. Their art, their science, their philosophy. They were magnificent, Marcus. They created beauty and wonder and knowledge, and we destroyed them out of fear. So this sanctuary isn't just your research station. No. Zara's voice strengthened with resolve. It's a repository. I've been collecting ancient technology, preserving their culture, preparing. Preparing for what? Zara led him deeper into the sanctuary, through chambers he hadn't seen before. Here lay workshops filled with hybrid technology, ancient designs enhanced with human engineering principles, hegemony weapons modified for defense rather than conquest. I've been monitoring human communications, studying your innovations. You're remarkable, Marcus. In 50 years, you've developed technologies that took the ancients centuries to master. Marcus examined a weapons array that seemed to blend human pragmatism with alien sophistication. You're planning to fight them. I'm planning to give humanity a chance. Zara activated another display showing hidden caches throughout the star system. Weapons, shields, technologies that could level the playing field, but I needed someone with the knowledge to implement them. An engineer. An engineer. A human engineer who understands both the technical challenges and the stakes involved. Zara turned to face him fully. Your ship didn't crash here by accident, Marcus. I've been monitoring hegemony communications. When I learned they were targeting supply runs, I broadcast a distress signal designed to draw survivors here. Marcus felt a chill of realization. You orchestrated this. The attack, the crash, everything. I gave you a choice, Zara said firmly. You could have tried to survive in the desert alone. You chose to trust me. And now we prepare for war. Marcus stared at the alien technology surrounding him, his mind reeling from Zara's revelation. The weight of an entire species' survival now rested on his shoulders. Show me everything, he said finally. Over the following days, Zara unveiled the full scope of her preparations. Hidden throughout the sanctuary were workshops containing hybrid weapons, communication arrays capable of reaching Earth, and manufacturing systems that could produce advanced defensive technology. The ancients mastered energy manipulation, Zara explained as she demonstrated a power core that could fit in Marcus's palm, yet generate enough energy to shield an entire city. But they lacked human intuition for rapid adaptation. Marcus picked up the device, marveling at its elegance. And the hegemony? Superior numbers and conventional firepower, but they're rigid in their thinking. They expect enemies to fight according to established patterns, which humans won't do. Exactly. Zara smiled for the first time since revealing the truth. Your species has a talent for improvisation that terrifies military planners. Marcus began sketching modifications to the ancient designs, his engineer's instincts taking over. If we can mass-produce these power cores and integrate them with human shield technology, we could protect the major colonies. But we need a way to get the information to Earth. Already planned. Zara activated a communication array hidden behind false walls. This can reach your homeworld, but only once. The hegemony will trace the signal and destroy this facility. Then we make it count. They worked tirelessly, combining human innovation with ancient knowledge. Marcus found himself pushing beyond every engineering principle he'd thought absolute. guided by Zara's deep understanding of alien physics. The hegemony will expect humans to fortify your worlds and wait for siege, Zara said, as they tested a prototype weapon. But what if you did the opposite? Marcus looked up from his calculations. Mobile defense, hit-and-run tactics using ships equipped with ancient technology. Precisely. The ancients developed cloaking systems the hegemony never fully understood. Combined with human tactical flexibility, we could turn their own strategy against them. Marcus felt excitement building. Small, fast ships that appear and disappear at will. They'd never be able to establish the static battle lines they prefer. Zara nodded approvingly. You understand. But there's one more element. She led him to a sealed chamber at the sanctuary's heart. Inside lay a crystalline matrix that seemed to pulse with inner light. The ancients' greatest achievement, Zara said reverently. A consciousness transfer device. It can upload an entire intelligence, knowledge, memories, personality, into any compatible system. Marcus felt a chill. You're planning to sacrifice yourself. I'm planning to ensure that everything I've learned, everything the ancients achieved, survives the coming war. Zara's expression was serene. My consciousness can be integrated into your communication networks, providing real-time tactical advice and technological support. There has to be another way. Perhaps. But this guarantees humanity's survival, and that's worth any personal cost. Marcus realized he was looking at the bravest being he'd ever encountered. Someone willing to give up everything to save a species she'd never belonged to. The communication array hummed with power as Marcus made final preparations. The modified ancient technology was ready to transmit to Earth, carrying blueprints that could save humanity. Are you certain about this? Marcus asked as Zara approached the consciousness transfer matrix. More certain than I've been about anything in 12 years, she replied. Her hands moved over the controls with practiced efficiency. The hegemony will arrive here within hours. This is our only chance. Marcus watched the woman who had saved his life prepare to sacrifice everything for his species. Why? Really why? After what your people did to the ancients, you owe us nothing. Zara paused, her eyes distant. Because I've learned that knowledge without compassion is destruction. The hegemony forgot that wisdom leads to genocide, not glory. The transfer matrix activated, its crystalline structure beginning to glow. Zara placed her hands on the input nodes, and Marcus saw her body tense as the process began. Remember, she said, her voice already taking on an ethereal quality. Humans survive by adapting, not by fighting the way your enemies expect. Light surrounded her as her consciousness merged with the array. Marcus watched in awe as centuries of knowledge flowed into the transmission bound for Earth. Transmission initiated. The sanctuary systems announced in Zara's voice, though now it carried harmonics that seemed to resonate through dimensions. Estimated arrival at Earth, 6 hours. Marcus felt tears he hadn't expected. Will any part of you remain? In every system that uses this technology, in every ship that escapes destruction, in every human life saved by ancient knowledge. The voice was fading now, becoming one with the sanctuary itself. That is immortality enough. The transmission completed just as hegemony ships appeared in the planet's atmosphere. Marcus gathered the portable technology Zara had prepared and escaped through hidden tunnels as energy weapons reduced the sanctuary to molten rock. 3 months later, Marcus stood on the bridge of the first human ship equipped with ancient hybrid technology. The new Aurora was invisible to hegemony sensors, its weapons capable of striking from impossible angles. Admiral Chen, his communications officer, reported, "We're receiving tactical data from the Zara protocol." Marcus smiled at the name Earth Command had given to the AI assistance network. Zara's consciousness lived on in every human ship, every defensive platform, every tactical decision that saved lives. The war that followed was unlike anything the hegemony had expected. Humans didn't stand and fight. They danced between dimensions, struck from shadows, adapted faster than their enemies could counter. True strength lies not in power over others, but in the willingness to sacrifice for their betterment. Zara's story teaches us that redemption comes through action, not words. When we choose compassion over conquest, knowledge over ignorance, and courage over comfort, we become worthy of the trust others place in us. Sometimes the greatest victory is knowing when to let go of ourselves to save something greater. Human ingenuity combined with alien wisdom proved that cooperation transcends species, and that hope can emerge from the darkest circumstances when someone chooses love over fear.